What's up, guys? My name's Abby, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the antenna on your Tiny Whoop camera. Some people might not know how to do this, and it's a really great tip, like a skill to have, so that way if you crash a couple times and you destroy your antenna, kind of like I have here, you can just replace it and get perfect video. However, some of you may know how to do this already, but that's okay. You can go check out some of my other videos. I'm sure you'll learn something in those too. But for right now, we're going to just replace this antenna. And the only thing we're going to need for this is a rubber ducky antenna, which comes normally with a pair of goggles or a video transmitter or something like that. So you can just snap the cap off. I've actually lost mine at the moment. But once you snap the cap off, there's actually just a regular linear polarized antenna on there, which is quite nice. These are much more durable than the circular polarized ones. And today we're going to be putting this onto our Tiny Whoop. So let's begin. So the first thing we want to do is cut off our antenna. Now, I like to give a little bit of extra room just so I have some wire to work with. So I'll snip it right there. And I'll grab it after it goes flying. Okay, so now that we have our antenna, there's actually two wires. There's an inner wire and an outer wire. So the first thing we want to do is take a razor blade, and we want to strip about a ½ centimeter of the plastic off of the first wire. So you just roll the wire on the razor blade, and then you should be able to pull it off. And you can see now that that wire is exposed. So now what you want to do is kind of just fray the wires out in each direction, like so. Now this does require a little bit of soldering, so if you're not too good at soldering, you should maybe practice a little bit. But honestly, soldering isn't really that difficult. I learned in one day, and now I'm pretty good at it. So now once we've split the wires, we can make a little T. Let's see if that'll focus. Nope, it doesn't want to focus. All right, but we've made a little T, and you can see this inner wire still isn't stripped. So we want to strip about a ½ millimeter to 1 millimeter off of this one, and you want to be very careful when doing this, because if you mess up, you're gonna have to trim some more wire off, and that's not good. So we're just gonna keep doing this. I'll show it to you guys once I'm done. So let's see, just a little bit more here. Okay, that looks good. So let's see if I cover up my face. I don't know, it doesn't want to focus, but I've left a little bit of that inner wire exposed. So now I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll get to the soldering. Okay guys, so now that we have our soldering iron turned on, it's nice and warm, we can go ahead and put some solder on the tip. That way it's nice and ready to go. We can clean it off. Now if we take our antenna, we just lightly touch the soldering iron to the pads. And we hold it there. It'll come right off. Now, taking a closer look at these pads, we just want to make sure that there's no solder bridging them together, and we can just clean up the pads. Alright, so that's the hard part done. Now, the easy part is just pre-tinning our new antenna. So, what I like to do is take my solder, kind of point it upwards a little bit, and then just merge the solder with the antenna, or the little T we made. So, it's a little bit too much. And now the tiny wire. Okay, that looks about good. Now we want to take our Tiny Whoop, and we can bend our little wires down if we have to. Now we want to line it up and solder it on there. So let's see if I can do that with one hand. Okay, so far so good. And let's do the last one. Here we go. Okay. So now, if we take a closer look. It looks pretty good. I'm not totally happy with it, but we can go back with some wire clippers and just clean it up. Just like that, we're all done. Doesn't look the greatest, but for what it's doing, it should be fine. Now, the last thing I like to do is put some heat shrink on it. So for heat shrink, we want about a 1/2 inch of heat shrink. We can put it on there. Put it right down to the base. Now we can take our lighter, light it off, moving it nice and quick. Flip it around. That looks good. So there we go, guys. That's how you replace your tiny whip antenna. Now this is going to perform much better than the stock circular polarized antenna, and it's also much more durable. So I'll conclude this. Okay, guys, I hope you liked that video. It's a really useful technique to help just repair these little cameras, because I'm sure many of you have thrown these out once the antenna breaks off. I have personally, and it's just a waste of money just throwing out a perfectly good FPV camera. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for more videos. They'll be coming very shortly. Make sure to follow me on Thingiverse and Facebook. I'll have all that linked in the description below, as well as the eSheen 0110. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you in the next video.